Good day, folks. It's DIY Guy 123. Today I'm doing a reverse DIY, which means I don't know the answer and I'm hoping someone on the internet can help me. I've got a convection oven range and the fan spins, so I know there's power getting to the fan, and the power comes, sorry, I'll go for this lead. The power comes to the fan through this brown wire onto that lead, and then it splits off, goes down here to the convection element. And then on this lead of the fan motor, comes down to the brown wire, comes off, goes through a diode, and goes to that contact on the convection element. When I put my voltmeter across there in AC mode, I only get 67 volts, and I guess that's what I should expect, I suppose, since this is a diode. I really don't understand why a diode would be in series with this element. Not sure what the purpose is of having only half of the 120 volts. I think this is 120. Half of the 120 volts on that element. I'm kind of puzzled as to why that is. I know the convection element isn't to provide like massive heat like the big elements on the top and the bottom, but still I would have figured more than 67, 68 volts, something like that. So, but anyway, I turn it on, and I turned that on in the controls, but I had unplugged one of the leads for the bake element, meaning only the convection element should have been running. The fan turned on, and the stove did get kind of sort of warm after a while, but it wasn't at all what I was expecting as far as the amount of heat output. So if I can somehow get this range rigged up here, I'll tell you the resistance of my convection element right now. Just a quick note, whenever you're measuring resistance of an element, for example, you must unhook one of the leads to the element. You don't have to unhook them both, but you have to unhook at least one, because if you don't unhook one of the leads and you measure across the element terminals, you could be also measuring the resistance facing back into the wires, the leads that come to the element. So you don't want to do that. In this case, take one of the leads off. Now, 41.2 ohms. So I don't know if that's normal, but I think it probably is, because if I measure the resistance of the much larger bake element, I'd expect it to be a little bit lower. 17.0 ohms. So yeah, so I guess, you know, the resistance seems okay of the convection element. And while I'm here, I will measure the resistance of the top broil element, just in case any of you are curious. 20.2 ohms. Okay. Now, I know diodes block current in one direction and allow it to pass in the other. So when I do a resistance check in this direction with my positive on the side of the diode away from the element, I get 8.7 mega ohms. So that's a pretty high resistance. If I do it in the reverse direction, I get open circuit. So I know diodes should test open circuit in one direction, but what's puzzling me is why the resistance is so high in the opposite direction. So if anybody knows whether this is normal, or maybe well, I don't know. If they know if this diode resistance is normal, I would appreciate it. I'm measuring it now, and I get 8.7 and 8.7 mega ohms. And in the opposite direction, I get open circuit. So if you know, please post it in the comments and help us all out. Thank you, and good luck with your do-it-yourself projects.